note that we do give 2 opportunities for public comment, one at the beginning of the meeting, one at the end of the meeting. If we, right now, we have an elected official with us, but we have no members of the public. If anybody were to come in, we'll certainly give them the opportunity to speak. We always start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We'd ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. Commissioner Kennedy, would you mind leading us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We do have a quorum. It takes 2 to establish a quorum, and we have 2 of us here. Commissioner Sonata is attending a conference in Washington, D.C. at this time. It's the National Association of County Officials. That explains his inability to be with us today. Moving down on the agenda, our county coroner, Mr. Johnson, is here. He has an agenda item in a few moments, but we always do also set aside time anytime we have an elected official with us. If there's anything else you need to bring to our attention, and I'll give you that opportunity.
No.
Okay, thank you. So we'll get to you as quickly as we're able to.
Take time.
Thank you, sir. Under fiscal and contractual, the Controller's Office has provided us with 3 sets of warrant registers dated February 13, February 18, and February 20. Dan, whenever you're ready, if you want to take time to look them over, if you have.
I've already looked them over, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, and I've also glanced at them, and I'll second your motion. Did you have any concerns? Okay, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The minutes of the February 17 meeting are in our packet. And again, Dan, whatever time you might need to look them over.
I've looked them over also. I'll make a motion to approve.
I thank you. I will offer a second to that. And unless you have any concerns, we'll have Vanessa call the roll, please.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Under written communications, we had one piece of correspondence come in from Wabtec Corporation based in Grove City. And we get this once a year, as I recall. It pertains to the Pennsylvania Storage Tank Spill Prevention Act. The letter comes from Justin Sokol, who is with the Executive Shop Operations Division of the Grove City engine plant, which of course is in Mercer County. But he states, as you are probably aware, under Pennsylvania Storage Tank Spill Prevention Act, any facility with above-ground storage tanks with a total capacity greater than 21,000 gallons must provide an annual notice to all downstream municipalities, downstream water companies, and downstream industrial users within 20 miles of the facility. This notice includes a detailed inventory of the type and quantity of the materials in storage. The GET, actually it's the General Electric Transportation Facility, which is part of Wabtec, located in Grove City along Wolf Creek, is subject to this regulation. And they have attached the downstream notification list and material inventory list for the facility. Also notes that there were no releases of regulated substances from the facility to surface water during the last calendar year. There are a number of municipalities in Mercer County that are included, 2 in Butler County, but then we have 4 municipalities that have been notified here in Lawrence. They are Slippery Rock Township, Perry Township, Wayne Township, and Scott Township. Dan, any concerns?
No.
Would you wish to make a motion for us to accept this?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, and I'll second your motion. We'll put it on file. We'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Under commissioner reports and comments, I have just a couple. Last week, I attended The Board of Directors meeting of the Pennsylvania Workers' Compensation Insurance Trust Fund, of which Lawrence County is a member. They had a couple of days worth of meetings in Harrisburg, and we got good reports in terms of the fiscal soundness of the organization. The expectation is that the grant program will continue, and more than likely, and we'll know later in the year, but more than likely we'll probably get another dividend from them. So that was good news. And then also, now both my colleagues were at other work-related commitments, but last night at the Newcastle Public Library, pardon me, we had the kickoff of the America 250 celebration. We had a gentleman from that organization come all the way out from Chester County. State Representative Brown was there. We had a number of folks from throughout the community, including Jenny Jacob Colella, who we've designated as the person who is in charge of this year's activities. And it was a very, very nice event. And I think everybody there enjoyed themselves. And we made note of the fact you were in Pittsburgh on county business. So, in fact, I'm going to turn it over to you, and maybe you want to speak about it.
A couple of things. Last Tuesday, we had our meeting early, so we could go to the Power Northwest up in Hermitage, and ended up being all the counties in the northwest part of the region here. We talked about economic development and what we need to do to push the northern part of northwest part of Pennsylvania forward. Great meeting. 400 people attended. Very well ran meeting. Got some good information out of it. And yesterday I was at the Southwest meeting, our executive meeting, and our regular meeting. Went over a lot of stuff, including our long-range transportation plan. We have a meeting on the 23rd of March down at the steam division. I plan to attend that along with Amy.
It's on my calendar.
We'll plan on going to that too. See what we can do to keep Orange County on the front of things going on in the region. So it's about it. Besides just Saturday night, I will be in Elwood at the fire department's award down. We get invited to every year. So
I'll see you there.
we plan on going down to that. So that's all I have.
Okie doke. Thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate your update. Under new business, we have a proposed resolution. What number would this one be, Vanessa?
23.
23, and our county coroner, R.J. Johnson's with us. Sir, could you come to the you'll have to pull a chair up. I'm sorry.
Sure.
We have the microphone there so we can pick you up as you offer your comments. This proposed resolution involves a vehicle that's currently under the jurisdiction of the county coroner, and he wishes to sell it. The resolution points out that transfers of property between governmental entities are recognized as intergovernmental transactions and may be completed without competitive bidding when approved by the Board of Commissioners and determined to be in the public interest. And from what I understand, you've had some conversations with the city of Newcastle regarding a vehicle. And so I'll let you fill in all the details if you could.
Yeah, we wanted to get rid of the black Ford Explorer we have, and it doesn't suit our needs anymore. And my office is at the Newcastle Police Station, and the police chief expressed interest in purchasing that vehicle. And so the resolution was submitted. City Council approved the purchase. You guys, if you approve the resolution, it does not have to go out for bid because it's intergovernmental. So that's I submitted the resolution. I don't know if it's been changed at all, but it's submitted as written.
It is quite detailed, but no, it looks good from the standpoint of it talks about the make and model of the vehicle, the VIN number, the purchase price set at $20,000, and it says the solicitor is instructed to draft a bill of sale to complete the transfer. And one thing you said is most helpful, the fact that the city council has already taken action, so that helps us a lot.
Yeah.
Let me see if my colleague, Mr. Kennedy, has any questions.
Nothing at all.
Okay. So this is your request of us, and we have this in the resolution format, which is number 23, and assuming there are no other questions, I'll see if Mr. Kennedy would like to make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it, and we'll see if Vanessa would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Well, sir, I think you can move forward now.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Appreciate your being here.
No problem.
And you're welcome to stay, but I know you're a busy man if you have to move along.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks again. Don't forget your ice.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay. Number 24, this proposed resolution involves the Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board, which we created a number of years ago to review requests that come in for grant money that's been established through the opioid, through the Commonwealth, various pharmaceutical companies that have had to pay certain amounts, and then those dollars have come out to the various counties. In this instance, the Opioid Advisory Board is recommending that the commissioners approve and allocate a grant amount of $89,974 to the Highland House, which is based here in the city of Newcastle. Now, our county administrator, Mr. Vanasco, chairs the Opioid Advisory Board. I'm going to turn it over to you if you want to give us some details.
Absolutely. And you said it pretty well, Commissioner. This is a request that was brought forward, I'd say about 6 months ago, by the administration of the Highland House. Our local opioid committee reviewed it, approved it to move forward. Now with our process, it was submitted to the opioid trust who approved the plan as being a viable and good expenditure of the opioid dollars. We received the feedback for this in, I would say, very, very late December, early January that it was approved. And now it's just our point, and that what they're doing is adding a couple of caseworkers into the house to better support the folks that are living there. Now, we don't pay anything out until the commissioners approve it, which is why we're bringing it to you today. We received our invoice the other day, about a week ago, from the Highland House requesting the funding, and we would like to get this out.
No, I appreciate that. I'm sure the fact that the Highland House has clients who perhaps have issues as it relates to drug and alcohol, and that would fall in line with the purpose of how these dollars are meant to be spent. And the trust fund, the trust board that you referenced, that's a statewide board.
It is.
We, as you said, we pass proposals through to them as well. So it now lands on our desk, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Kennedy to see if he has questions.
None, I'm on the opioid board here. And I'm well aware what to do on that. So.
Very good. Well, gentlemen both have a comfort level, then I'm certainly not going to disagree. So this is proposed resolution 24. As mentioned, it would allocate $89,974. Those dollars are not tax dollars. They are fines that have been levied against various pharmaceutical companies and that have been distributed to counties throughout not only the Commonwealth, but I believe throughout the country.
Yes, and municipalities, and it goes well beyond just counties.
So this is resolution 24. I'm sorry, did you make a motion or would you care to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, and I'll second your motion. Anything else, gentlemen? If not, Vanessa, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have two transfer requests, budget transfer requests. The Domestic Relations Office is asking for a $50, that's $50 transfer from their material and supply line item into that of association dues. And Judge Amodi's office is asking for a transfer of $200 from their line item of temporary part-time employee expense to that of postage. Joe, I assume you have no concerns with either of these?
None whatsoever.
Dan, do you have questions? Would you wish to make a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, and we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I'll note that next Tuesday, a week from today, March 3, the board will reconvene for our normal weekly public meeting at 10 o'clock in this room, again, open to the public. Also, it's not on the agenda, but March 4 will be the public monthly meeting of the county's conservation district. That's also at noon on the 4th March. That's held at Sony's restaurant in Shannick Township. As far as public comment is concerned, we have no members of the public in the audience at this time, but I'll see if Mr. Kennedy has any closing concerns or remarks.
Not at all.
I thank you. Joe or Vanessa, anything? No? Okay. Well, thank you all so much. We'll look forward to seeing everybody next week. May I have an adjournment motion?
I'll make that motion.
I will second it. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody. You're able to head to your next meeting.
I'll head to my next meeting.
I don't think we'll have any snow issues.
No, I don't know. I'll be back after lunch.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're good.
Good to go? On?
That's why I said over here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call the Lawrence County Prison Board meeting this Wednesday, February 18th, 2026 to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Commissioner Vogler is absent. He did provide prior notice that he would not be here today.
Controller Prestipine?
Here.
President Judge Cox?
Here.
District Attorney Lehman-Kusa?
Here.
Sheriff Mortwinsky?
Here.
Our first order of business, it falls under agenda item number 2, which I believe everybody has received the packet, and it is visitor comments. Are there any visitor comments at this time? I see no visitor comments, so we will move to item number 3. This is the approval of the minutes and notice of executive session. Meetings for the last minute, the meeting were provided to myself. I had an opportunity to review them, and then they were forwarded on to Sheriff Mortwinsky. And I believe he executed his signature at the back of the minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those minutes, and are there any comments related to them? Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
Motion. I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Controller Prestipine?
Yes.
President Judge Cox?
Yes.
District Attorney Lehman-Kusa?
Yes.
Sheriff Mortwinsky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Now, on the line item number 3, it's titled approval of the minutes / notice of executive session. I'm going to delay the request or possibility of executive session until we get to line item number 9 further down the list. So I'd like to move to the population report.
This morning, we have 138 inmates at the Lawrence County Jail. We've got 5 juveniles. We've got 13 females. We've got 14 housed at other facilities for court and separation purposes. And we are currently holding 8 from other institutions and jails.
What was the juvenile number again? 5 juveniles. Okay. Are there any questions related to the population report? Just the numbers? No questions related to that? I always forget this, and I think I always ask the same thing. If we have to move to accept the population report. Okay. That's one less vote we have to take. Great. Then let's move to the approval of bills. Bills were included in the packet. Are there any questions related to the bills? I see no questions, but I have a question. Diagnostic Direct. What is that?
Supplies, I believe.
Supplies. It's in the amount of $3,149.
I have it right here. It looks like there was a case of gloves, a bunch of gloves, like 7 mil nitrile gloves.
Okay, and I see on here that there is a elevator bill, which I guess we can discuss that in old business. I know this is just the payment of the bill, but the status of the elevator is something that we can get into in a moment. Can I have a motion to approve the payment of the bills?
I'll move to pay bills. I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Vote please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Controller Prestipine?
Yes.
President Judge Cox?
Yes.
District Attorney Lamakusa?
Yes.
Sheriff Martwinsky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving to line item 6, old business. I guess from our last meeting, there's a few items that would qualify as being old business. One of them would be the elevator. I know that was at least mentioned. What is the status?
We're still looking at approximately 4 to 5 weeks to get all the parts in and start the renovations or upgrade to the elevators.
Okay. I know that we are at the mercy of the vendor. Is this
I've had callers.
Schindler? Who is it?
TKE.
TKE. Okay.
I mean, I've had conversations with them and I was told I wasn't happy with how long this is taking.
Despite the fact that we are awaiting repairs on the elevator, are we still able to maintain the continuity of operations at the jail?
Yes, sir.
So it's not, may have been inconvenienced, but not impacted.
Correct.
Okay. Please keep us in the loop on the developments of the elevator. Controller Prestipine, any issues regarding payment of the bill for that or?
Nope.
Nothing. Okay, so it's really just on them to get
They
us.
received payment.
Yeah, they obviously went out to bid and they have progressive payments that the bills will come through, everything they sent in have been paid.
So there's nothing on us anymore. It's just them. Okay. Yes, please keep us in the loop. Is there any other old business that was discussed at the last meeting that someone would like to address or anyone would like to address at this meeting? Seeing no additional requests for old business, if we could move to line item 7, which is new business. I have here a warden update. Warden, before I get into several items of new business, is there anything you would like to touch upon?
Not at this time. I really don't have any additional. We've been just working on that elevator, getting ready for our state inspection in August.
That's what, that is August?
August 8th, 18th.
And have you assigned a point person for the inspection? I mean, ultimately you're responsible, but have you assigned a point person to handle, is that?
Yes.
Deputy
Deputy Warden
did
Simmons.
inspection last time. Okay. Well, then moving on to new business, with the indulgence of the prison board, I would like to touch on a variety of issues. The first one being the revenue report. You heard the warden's population report, which indicated we had 5 juveniles. We have collected a total this year of $159,000. We have outstanding $202,800. Those amounts have been billed for the months of December and January. This is consistent with how the money flow operates for collecting these revenues. We're typically a month or 2 behind in receiving the dollars, but obviously they get billed out when they are incurred at the end of the month. So that's total revenue to date, $361,800. I am unaware of any time in the history of the Lawrence County Jail where we have not received compensation for our juveniles. Controller Prestipine, are you aware of any time anyone ever defaulted?
I have not.
Okay, so it's this is a reliable number, this $361,800 that we will be receiving. We will continue to build the month of February. Today's February 18th or 19th? 18th. So 5 juveniles, we will continue to build those. Does anyone have any questions about the revenue report? And does everyone receive the revenue report?
I don't believe I haven't received that yet. I don't believe so.
Your Honor, do you receive it?
I don't recall.
I assume you received it.
I haven't seen them recently, but I have gotten them in the past.
Would you, would every member of the prison board like to receive a copy of the revenue report when it gets generated? Sure. Deputy Ward, if you could put it on the distribution list so that everybody sees what comes through the door. The next item, and I just want to verify some information. I believe that for budgetary purposes, we have set the target number of corrections officers at 42. That is correct? Okay, and of course, we do understand that, and I've had this conversation with the business administrator for the county, and I know Controller Press probably knows this, that there's going to be an ebb and flow to the number of corrections officer. Past precedent serves as any type of guidance, because you have corrections officers that leave employment and we have to hire. So that number is going to vary, but the budgeted amount, the target is 42 officers. About a month ago, I requested a lot of information from the jail. I requested information on the structure of the facility, the chain of command, the duties and responsibilities of the members within the Lawrence County Corrections Facility. I also requested information on equipment, physical needs. I really wanted to get a good bird's eye view of the facility, how it's being run, and the needs of the organization. The jail has been extremely forthcoming with the information. I've received everything in a timely manner, and I think based upon my initial assessment, I do believe that it is worth it right now that we look at how the jail is functioning. And specifically what I'm referring to is, and there's many areas, but with regard to the chain of command, do we have the most effective command structure? I know that there will be some changes that occur within the command structure, and I think that we need to look at, does it make sense that we have this number of positions in a command capacity at the Lawrence County Jail? I think that is something that we're going to have to revisit in the not too distant future. Also, the staffing. I know that a lot of the staff performs additional functions related to sometimes state mandated programs and sometimes other concerns that are handled by other agencies within Lawrence County, for example, mental health. We have the MAT program. Some of these responsibilities that the individuals working at the jail are performing are required by the state. Specifically, I'm referring to the MAT program. And there's grant funding that is compensating for that. However, that grant funding will eventually run out. And the requirement that we operate an MAT program is not going to go away. So we have to figure out how to continue the program without increasing costs, or at least controlling costs, so that we can maintain our obligations under the state MAT program. That is something that you're going to have to look at our manpower, and we're going to have to deal with assigning duties and responsibilities to people that are already at the jail, which may be in excess of what they do. So what I would ask the jail for is if you could provide the names and duties of, not every single thing, but the names and duties of the individuals that are working at the Lawrence County Corrections Center that are touching the MAT program and are touching mental health. Those are two areas that I'd like to see, because that's going to have to go into our review process to figure out how to best assign personnel, which ultimately is going to be a decision for you, Ward. You control the revenue of the facility, but the financial end is certainly a responsibility of the board here, as well as the commissioners and the controller. So if you could provide that list, that would be appreciated. I did request information regarding the housing structure of the facility. So the Lawrence County Jail presently has how many pods? 5? 4? 5 pods, but not all 5 are in use.
Yes, they are.
They are, okay. We looked at, I asked about the possibility of housing federal inmates as a potential income generator in the facility. I did receive several contracts from the warden as to what that would require. I had a very brief conversation with Sheriff Martwinski yesterday about that. Housing federal inmates may not be something that we can do, at least in the short term. It may be too difficult to lift at this point in time, but it is certainly something that's worth revisiting at a later point. But given the current structure, our manpower, the way the facility operates, that's not going to be a viable revenue source in the short term. Possibility of housing more females, that exists. And that's been made very clear by the warden. The juveniles. At present, we have contracts, juvenile commitment contracts with 7 counties. Armstrong County, Fayette County, Washington, Westmoreland, Beaver, Venango, and Mercer. What I would like to request of the jail is I would like some sort of proposal from the administration there on how to, what is our plan moving forward with other counties that are in the western third of the Commonwealth. I believe that we should be in direct contact with the facilities and counties in the western third of Pennsylvania. That's Allegheny County, Butler County, Crawford County, Clary, and Greene. These are all facilities, these are all counties that we should be marketing the great resource that we have at the Lawrence County Jail and our ability to not only offer great programming for the juveniles, but our ability to house them in accordance with all of the requirements that it takes to house a juvenile. It's already in place. You have already built that. We just need to expand that reach. So what I would like is, on behalf of the prison board, some sort of plan as to how are we going to engage these people. Because I believe that just sending an email or a brief conversation is not going to do it. We have to be able to go there and show them all the great things that you guys are doing and explain to them that we can house your juveniles. We can do what we need to do. So yes, I would appreciate that if you guys could do that. Also, that dovetails into the female inmates. Currently, we house female inmates, or we have contracts, I believe.
Contracts, sir.
Elk, Erie, Mercer, and Washington. Does that sound about right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that we should mirror our efforts with the juveniles. We should mirror that into the females. There's no reason we are not soliciting females from the western third of Pennsylvania to cover all of those counties. Now, I want to be very clear. Just because we're soliciting is certainly no guarantee that we're going to get them. A lot of these facilities can house females, and they may not be willing. Now, granted, it's at a discounted rate. I believe it's $50 a day.
75, sir.
75. Okay, so that's not what the juvenile rate is. But again, it's something that we should be exploring because we can house additional females. We might have to reshuffle some of the pods and figure out how to do that. But I see no reason why we can't market to them. So if you could mirror your juvenile proposal with the female proposal as well.
Yes, sir.
I also inquired into the status of the live scan machine. Now, the facility at the Lawrence County Jail operates let me just, if I could for a moment, if anyone has any questions or about anything that I'm saying, please, let's have that discussion so that we move on to the next thing. We can keep it clean. The live scan machine, the Lawrence County Jail has a live scan machine. It is technically up and running, but it's not up and running in the sense that we need to have some things completed by our staff. And I understand that is in the process. Do we have a timeline on that process?
We do not. We have our TAC officer working on it, who is Captain Wyman.
Okay. Is it safe to say, I'm not trying to pin you down, but I'm trying to pin you down. would we have a definitive time frame within the next 30 days? I don't mean, excuse me, that within the next 30 days we're up and running. I mean, we will know our time frame in the next 30 days. Is that possible?
I would say yes.
Okay. Okay, well then we'll list it as old business for the next one. Touch on it. But in order to have use of the live scan machine, we need to set an assessment that has to be incurred by the individuals that are being live scanned. I did have a chance to speak with Sheriff Martwinsky yesterday. It looks like the live scan, based upon not just other counties, but it's anywhere between $100 and $300.
Yes.
What was Beaver County charging? Sheriff?
I believe Beaver County is, I think they're at $200 at this point, yes.
I think, and I believe this would be a court order for the assessment. So we would need an order for the president judge setting the assessment. I don't think we charged 200, maybe 150. I believe the break even was a little under $100 for the cost of the machine. But you do have to pay an annual subscription fee. It's almost $6,000.
$6,500.
How much was that?
About 6,500.
Okay, so closer to 7, yeah. Your Honor, I'm not sure. Would you like a sample put together for you?
Are we talking administrative order?
Yes, sir. Let's do a sample, send it to me, and then I'll get it up to the court, setting the live scan fee at $150 if the board's okay with that. Controller Presscon, you fine with that number? Controller Kennedy, or Commissioner Kennedy? Commissioner Snow? Judge, obviously, you have to make the ultimate determination. Sheriff, are you okay with that?
Yes, I am, yep.
Okay. Then, yeah, let's do an admin order and a sample, send it to me, and we'll get it to the court. Once that is in place and the staff have been verified, then you can begin using the machine. There has been a request by the Pennsylvania State Police. I am not suggesting that we have an answer today, but it is worth discussing, and I believe that this is probably a conversation which should occur between the sheriff and the jail. Pennsylvania State Police has requested to live scan their own people, people that they have arrested, and they want to know, hey, can we just come in and do it ourselves? That way it doesn't tie up jail personnel. I explained to them, well, I don't know. I think that's something we have to talk to the warden about. Also the location of this equipment, and location is going to come up a little bit later too, because we have polycoms, we have a live scan machine, and I think I understand where these devices are all kept in the jail at the current moment, but there may be more efficient placement of them depending on how you want to proceed, with Pennsylvania State Police. If you want them coming into the facility or live scanning their own people. I don't know if that helps you or hurts you, but it was a direct request. So I'm passing that information and that request on to you, and we can discuss maybe at the next meeting, your thoughts and the likelihood of that occurring.
Would this be individuals that they're bringing in with them?
Yes. Yes, it would be people that they have in their custody. They're bringing into the facility. What Sergeant Allaire said to me was, basically, Josh, we're bringing these people there. We have, they're under arrest, or we have an order that's placing them under arrest. Our troopers are walking them into the facility. Can't the troopers just walk over to the live scan, do the live scan right there? There's no request for compensation. It was truly just an ease of operation, saying, hey, my guys are there, they might as well just do it. They're all trained in it. I think it was a reasonable question. And so I will put that back to you for something to get back to us on.
Yes, sir.
I also received a letter from the warden, and I would like to read it into the record. This letter was dated January 25th, 2026, and was addressed, I believe, CC to all members of the prison board. And it says, board members, I'm writing to propose a formal adjustment to our current process for accommodating video hearings. Currently, the facility faces challenges with unscheduled hearings that frequently coincide with critical daily operations, such as meal service, medication distribution, and medical rounds. While hearings coordinated through the records office remain efficient, unscheduled arraignments and plea agreements requested by local magistrates often disrupt secure facility protocols. Each hearing requires significant staff coordination, including document management, processing paperwork required by district justices both before and after the proceedings, inmate coordination, ensuring individuals are prepared and available at the time of the request, and finally, secure transport, escorting inmates to and from designated video hearing booths. To mitigate these operational disruptions and improve efficiency for both the facility and the magistrates, I propose implementing a standardized 1-hour daily block for these proceedings. I recommend scheduling these hearings between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. By establishing this dedicated window, we can assign a specific support officer to the detail in advance. This proactive approach will ensure the staff is prepared, transport is streamlined, and the judicial process remains uninterrupted. Thank you for your time and consideration of this proposal. I'm available to discuss the logistical details of this transition at your convenience. Respectfully, Warden Michael J. Mullmeister. I believe everybody received this letter. Now, obviously, the request from the warden is a request that impacts multiple levels. Certainly would have an impact on the trial judiciary, an impact on the magisterial district court judiciary, the sheriff's office potentially, and then of course the internal workings of the jail. One thing that I can say with absolute certainty, as an outsider viewing the operations of the jail, frequently, and I will take ownership of this, as district attorney, I've made requests to the jail to see an inmate, or maybe detectives needed to interview a witness or a suspect. And it ends up being a quick phone call from the DA's office or maybe from another agency, but we have no idea of what actually happens on the other end. And it usually impacts the sheriff's office, it impacts the jail, the captains, depending on when the call comes over, lunch, medication, all of the things that have been outlined. So I think that this request is something that truly needs to be discussed and addressed, because what I'm being informed of, and certainly the board, you can expand on this, is that the requests to the jail are coming in at random. There's no consistency to it, and for the most part, again, I'll speak only for myself, I kind of want you to jump immediately when I call, and that's probably not fair or realistic. That's probably a little bit unrealistic on my part.
These phone calls and requests come in all day long. And like you said, nobody really knows what our schedule is, what we have going on, whether it be a medication line, whether it be a psych line, dentist. There's just so much that we have going on. And we've got the courts that are already scheduled that we have to handle too.
Would the prison board be in favor of requesting a specific plan from the jail that goes a little bit more beyond just carving out a 1 hour? Because I think there's a lot of other variables. I think it's also a conversation that has to be held in consultation with the sheriff's office, because they're impacted, not on some of this stuff, your preliminary arraignments, your temporary detainees, that's not necessarily the sheriff's office, but transporting prisoners back and forth. I do think there probably should be a conversation, and if we can establish some sort of consistency in when hearings are going to be scheduled, I guess the first question is, would the trial judiciary, President Judge Cox, would that be something you'd be interested in hearing? Would you be willing to consider something like that? And, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Judge. But just trying to get you some more information to consider.
Obviously. I guess, what are we talking about as far as these magisterial district judges calling in? Or is this the courts or combination?
This is typically the magistrates calling in for the temporary commitments and also sometimes plea agreements, things like that, where normally the arresting agency or the sheriffs would take them to the magistrate's office. They're calling us and saying, hey, can we get this person in front of a video right now?
with 10 minutes notice. And, you know, we may have meal service or like the board had mentioned, doctor line, and it's not always feasible for us to have the employees available to do that.
Perhaps we could do a formal proposal to the court and give you an opportunity to look at it. Whatever you feel is appropriate, Judge.
Okay. Is it mostly the DJs then?
Sorry, sir?
Is it mostly the DJs then versus the courts?
Yes.
Yeah, the courts always seem to schedule well in advance. We haven't had a problem with the court system. Okay, I know sometimes we'll adjust something at the last minute. We want to do something. That's very rare, but okay. Yeah, the magistrates it's a daily basis where they request something with 10 minutes or zero notice. Okay.
And I also believe that this is also connected to Polycom system. I think that there can be a more efficient use of our Polycom system. Right now, we have 2 sets, I believe, in booking and 1 in the attorney room.
Yes, sir.
I would like to request from the jail a proposal. Can we move these Polycom machines to better serve the facility into different areas so it requires less internal transports? Also, I did have a conversation with Sheriff Martwinski, who was discussing, Vince.
Yeah, so I've been going on trips with my guys, so I just sort of see what's happening. So I've been visiting some of the other jails, and Beaver County has a really good program set up down there where they have Polycoms in different places. So they maybe have it on the blocks, you know, their housing units in like the rec rooms areas, but then they have them in their attorney clients. But one thing that was nice was they have the capability to, it's almost like a Google Meet. So you don't have to have a Polycom on the other end of the office, so to speak. It's at the jail, but they program in, you know, a number and email, and it goes directly to, you know, it can go directly to a laptop with, as long as you have a web camera. So there is a function they have where you can actually do like a Google Meet or a Teams meeting where, just to say, because I know I had been approached by, you know, the PD's office because they're trying to get, they wanted me to try to bring some other people over to central court so they could sit with their people during their call to trial list. And Beaver's actually doing it to where they bring them into the attorney-client room. They have Polycoms in all their attorney-client rooms. And then they send an invite to the attorney directly at the attorney's office. They have the camera system set up on their phone, you know, on their computer. And then they're able to have a one-on-one with their client in the attorney-client room without having to go through security processes of having to come into jail and then do all that stuff. So the capabilities there, and, you know, Sheriff Guy was more than accommodating, and any information that I need to get, I will be able to get from them to try to streamline this process, which they do a lot of rescinding the bench warrants through that process. But they have a program set up for scheduling and things like that. And they've been doing it for years. So it's not something new. And it's something that I could definitely get the information to everybody so that we sort of are on the same page and maybe we could streamline some of these issues. Because it's cut down Beaver's transports in the high 1,000 range. I think they advised me it was like they cut maybe 4,200 transports a year by doing it this way. So it is one of those issues with safety and liabilities, but it did streamline it a little bit. So I'd be willing to get that information for everybody here, just so we have an idea of how they're doing things.
Yeah, I really think that fits into this question of, you know, is our equipment positioned in the most effective way at the Lawrence County Jail, and are we using it in the most effective manner? I mean, you know, I will always choose a book over a Westlaw, you know, search, but at the end of the day, I do think we need to adapt to the technology and make sure that we're maximizing. So perhaps if the sheriff could provide that information to the jail, and you guys can put together a proposal as to how to most effectively use the equipment. And Sheriff, was there a cost associated
Yeah, so when I broke down some of the costs, again, because you don't need Polycom on both ends, so it was just the price of the Polycom units. The ones they're using, I can't remember, it was like I think it was Poly Studio, they called it maybe. I think it was the X30, but like total setup is under like $2,700 per units for certain things that they're doing, because they're just using the camera systems. It's not, and they have some setups with that. So it's not as expensive as what I thought it was going to be, compared to like what we have in the court systems with it being attached, because they have a box. They call it like the black box. It's not black, but that's what they call it. And it's like a switchboard box through, Apple. Apple does something with it. And, so I can get that information, but the cost was not that expensive. When I originally heard about it, I was kind of shocked. So,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
yeah.
It becomes part of the Polycom system itself.
Yeah, so you would just need Polycom in the jail. And then there's a switch box that they use where they can actually send this invite out to, an attorney's computer. And then it's just like we're having a Google Meet or, a Teams meeting. You just need a camera on your computer, which everybody has these cameras, which are very inexpensive. So that's how they were doing some of that stuff.
Obviously, we'd have to look at that system. You want to maintain integrity, and talking to an attorney is one thing, because those are privileged communications anyway. But if it expanded to the point where it was visitation or something,
Yeah.
to record, and I don't know if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's specifically just towards, it's,
Courts,
yeah, and I believe that the sheriff's office down there has their own regional booking unit that's down there, so they handle all that. They send out the invites to where it needs to go, and it's all, it's not accessible to the public in any way, anything like that. So it's very secure.
Sheriff, you could provide the
Yeah,
information.
absolutely.
Okay. I have two last things. I guess we'll do the easier one first. I recently had to complete CJIS training. It's an annual training, and it's about the flow of information and access to information and security protocols surrounding information, what should be done, how to use it. If you could, Warden, I would like you to take a look at your staff. And let's review who has access to what information. And then there should be a review of, should they have access to that information? Are there people that should have the access that don't have access right now? We want to make sure that in order for us to be compliant, that the right people have access to the information they're supposed to, people that shouldn't don't, and make sure everybody completes their trainings for that certification.
So we just finished all training for the CJIS, and that was the TAC officer that handled that.
Great.
So it's all up to date and finished.
So that will tell, that says that the individuals have been provided the training. That's not necessarily, I want a high level evaluation as to their access to information systems within the jail. Do the right people have the right access, or some people have access they shouldn't have? So that would obviously have to come from three of you. Last thing, I received a phone call from the chief of police at Jameson Hospital, UPMC Jameson, and he wasn't upset. He was calling to say, look, I know there's not a lot of options. But is there any way we could at least have a conversation or try and figure out how are we handling inmates that get brought from Lawrence County Jail to UPMC Jameson? In particular, what usually happens is an inmate has some sort of medical incident at the jail, has to be transported to the hospital if it's usually by ambulance, and then since they're incarcerated, the Lawrence County Sheriff's Department has to maintain custody of that individual, which means they have to be there. According to their contract, this is a situation where it can be 24 hours, you're paying a tremendous amount of overtime through your budget, which in turn is the county's money. A lot of times, defense attorneys will then put in requests to furlough or to reduce the bond, and those requests will come to me or various ADAs. I've signed them in the past. Someone's medical condition really prevents them from being a threat, and so why are we going to spend $20,000 to sit outside of a hospital room? And I've signed those, and but in some instances, the individuals, especially if they're there for mental health reasons, if that bond is reduced or if they're brought there or they're furloughed, then UPMC has to sit on them with their own security. And, we had another assault that just occurred. We're trying to figure out if there is a workaround. There may not be. But it was a request from the chief of police there, so I wanted to bring it to the prison board's attention. I think that the best we can do at this point is have a conversation with the board and have a conversation with the sheriff. And if there's any ideas that we can put on the table for the prison board to at least discuss. Ultimately, I don't think it's a prison board determination. I think it really comes down to the sheriff's department, comes down to the district attorney's office on our recommendation, and ultimately to the court. But I do think as a prison board, it is an issue that affects the prison, and we should be considering options if they're out there. So that's a discussion we can have within the next week or two. And, get it to the board, get it to the judge, and see where it goes, if it goes anywhere. I'm not sure there's an easy solution. Last but not least, as part of that, Sheriff, do other facilities have third shift medical
Yes,
at facilities?
yes.
And Warden, that's been your experience as well?
Yes, sir.
Lawrence County does not have medical services available during that third shift. So what is third shift? Night?
10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
And we have no medical personnel in the facility.
No, sir. I mean, sometimes, whether or not we have to send them to the hospital, or whether a nurse that would be on staff would possibly handle the situation.
I did request from you a quote from Prime Care to see what it would cost for a third shift nurse. I did receive, looks like they made it out to you.
That was actually from Don Salisbury, Ms. Salisbury.
Care, he signed this, and it went to you, and it's setting an annual $13,471 a month, an annual of $1,655,446. Do we have any idea what it's costing us? These inmates that are going to the hospital at night, between cost to you and cost to the sheriffs? I'm not asking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know offhand.
So we probably need to do some sort of cost analysis to figure out to consider something like this. Because if it's costing us less, well then, why would we pay more? Okay, that is something that we probably should have a conversation. Okay, I know I went through a lot of different items, and I will follow up directly with the warden on the stuff that we've talked about. Is there anything else? This means a bit longer than usual. Is there anything else that any member of the prison board would like to discuss? Seeing none, I'll move to section 8 or line item 8. It's visitor comments. Any visitor comments? It's the only one visitor. No. Line item 9, executive session. Are there any motions to move to executive session to discuss personnel matters? I hear no motions. Lastly, is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Controller Preston?
Yes.
President Judge Fox?
Yes.
District Attorney Lemakusa?
Yes.
Sheriff Martwinsky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Before I adjourn the meeting, there will be in the minutes, there will be a review. We will the items that were just discussed as a refresher to everyone, and we will get to work on addressing these concerns for the next person board meeting. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, Josh.
Good to see you.
All right. Absolutely. Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Meeting and public hearing on the part of the Lawrence County Board of Elections. I want to note for the record, Bill, we're up and running. I apologize, I should have checked with you first.
We're good.
We're good? Thank you. We are live streaming this meeting and it is also being recorded. We would ask if you have any type of an electronic communication device, if you'd please put it on silent or vibrate. We would appreciate that courtesy. I do want to introduce the people up at the front table here. My fellow Commissioner Chris Sonata, our Director of Elections, Tim Germani. I'm Dan Vogler. I serve as chair of this board. This is our solicitor, Jason Medore. I will note that our third commissioner,